Yeah, get it on. Got to get on the Choice Big One mandate. Get it on. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. Alicia Krause is in here, and she's got the news.
I sure do. Want to hear some?
Nah, I'm
You know,
just teasing.
not at all.
Yeah.
So did you hear about how John Mayer and Zach Bryan like sold out Michigan, like University of Michigan, Ann Arbor's like whole stadium?
John Mayer and Bryan?
Yeah, wasn't it Zach Bryan? I thought it was him. They did a duet together, sold it out.
I don't know who Bryan is.
Zach Bryan did that song.
Oh, you're
with,
saying
like...
Zach Bryan. Okay. I was only hearing Bryan. John Mayer. Oh, I guess Zach is one of those weird names because John Mayer and Zach Bryan. I thought you were saying John Mayer and the Bryan or something, but Bryan, yeah. Zach. Mm-hmm.
So they sold it out. So he's a pretty popular guy. I was looking at his Spotify like numbers earlier. Like
Zach.
So many of his. Yeah, there you go. Zach Bryan, Michigan Stadium. What is it? Like, isn't it like the largest football stadium, like college football stadium in the country? Anyway, epic concert. Everybody said it was awesome. 112,000 people there.
How does that work? I don't get how that works, but all right.
They sell
good.
tickets and people go.
No, I know it's how it goes, but it's confusing to me as to who sells the most, but okay.
Okay, so
he's popular.
He's a really
good.
popular guy. A lot of his songs, like on streamers, have over 1 billion listens, which is kind of crazy. Well, now he's upsetting some people on the right side of the aisle, and has even had people within the Trump administration respond to him because he has this new song called "Bad News." Let me read you a lyric and see what you think. And ICE is gonna come bust down your door to try to build a house no one builds no more. But I got a telephone. Kids are scared and all alone. The boss stopped bumping. The rock stopped rolling. The middle finger's rising and it won't stop showing. I got some bad news. The fading of the red, white, and blue.
So it's a kind of anti-ICE thing.
Yeah, like America is the worst.
What's the part where the metaphor about the house that won't be built anymore?
I wonder.
Is he talking about labor?
That was where my mind went.
What rhymes with stucco? Hey, bucko, you remove these Mexicans, you get no stucco. Oh, write that shit down.
They'll use fucko in the explicit version.
Oh, yeah, but the radio version is going to be, hey there, bucko,
right.
Don't you miss your stucco and your tacos and everything that ends with an O, oh, Lord. Oh,
you think you could sell out a Michigan Stadium?
I could do like
illegal driving a trucko.
I could sell out maybe, somewhere like, I don't know, Clemson. Something like that. Some under 80.
Under 80.
Yeah.
Pretty big, though. Still at SEC school.
It's the biggest.
That's a big
You were
one.
right. So he's taking a jab at this country,
and
saying,
the Trump
what are we doing?
And yeah.
All right. So not good with the country fans, though, because
I think country is so broad, though, now.
Is it?
There might be an audience for this. I guess we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, well, listen, I think you're supposed to sing about what you care about. So if that's what he cares about, he should sing about it.
So the boss, who he references there, Bruce Springsteen, I guess is kind of his mentor and advisor.
Well, Bruce is like a soft pussy.
And there you go.
So there you go.
And I mean, Bruce has made political statements in his music for years. Obviously, U2 and, Bob Dylan and other, like this has happened for decades. It's not a surprise to people.
Bruce does a lot of that. He does a lot of that. There's a factory, and now it's closed. People don't work there anymore.
That literally sounds like this
2,
lyric.
3, 4. And it's like, yeah, okay, there was a place. Yeah, and now it's gone. Hey, there's a ship, and it was called the Titanic. It's the bottom of the sea now. 2, 3, 4. It's like, okay, Bruce, there was a place and people went there and now they don't. Anything else you'd like to alert us to? And I know you think those people should be working somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we'll call you a hero, Bruce, but All I get from you is sort of virtue signaling. That's all they do.
Does he go out there and like picket with the UAW? Does he do anything? I mean, he supports
No, he
Democrats.
He does my dad worked at the Chevrolet plant in Dearborn. And one day he came home. And he said, Brucey, that's what he called me.
I don't have a job no more.
I don't have a job no more, so no more food for you. 2, 3, 4. He tells the same sort of bullshit stories that Biden would tell. My dad told me, he said, see those two fellas hugging on the corner? Ain't nothing wrong with that. 2, 3, 4. We'd sit down. According to Joe Biden and Bruce Springsteen, every single thing happened at their kitchen table. Like my dad had come home and took his hat off. Sat at that kitchen table. He said, Joey, you're on your own. 2, 3, 4. And that's all, every story.
I've noticed every one of his stories is in standard time.
You know the great thing about Joe Biden?
He doesn't do a waltz for a story ever.
Joe Biden's stories were also like the basketball court too.
I learned
it was the basketball court or the kitchen table.
The kitchen table's where he learned. And when he got called Joey, that meant some wisdom was going to be imparted. His dad ran one of the biggest Chevrolet dealerships in the county, and that's why when he got married at 23, he got a brand new Corvette.
Like a rock.
For his wedding gift.
Wrong guy.
For a wedding gift.
Right.
He got a brand new Corvette. So I don't know. Was his dad? How
One
hard
day, son,
travel?
you're going to store classified documents in the trunk.
I got you the 327, not the big block with the side oiler. 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
You gonna listen to the song though? You gonna listen to the song?
Sure. I listen. You can say whatever you want. It's fine. I don't like. Look,
there's a lot of things you don't like, so I'm bracing myself for a thing Adam doesn't like 1001.
Your side created a problem by letting tons of unvetted people into this country. You created a problem. The problem is now trying to be unrectified or unfuctified by what you guys did. So, first off, the surgeon who comes in after you never got your boil lanced after 30 years and now it's infected and it's on your back. It's not really on him. You let it go.
2, 3, 4.
What rhymes with carbuncle? You let it go. So you let this
uncle.
You let this problem go. You said that Kamala Harris had been to the border. She was in charge of the border. You had Mayorkas and everyone lie. You had a picture of Border Patrol with their reins in their hands, and you said they're whipping Haitians.
And children in cages.
And children in cages. You created a massive problem. Now the problem is going to have to be fixed. The problem is there's no clean, easy, fast, and cheap way to fix this problem other than getting people who are not here legally, going in and getting them out.
Which actually, when I listened to the song and listened to this lyric, is Zach Bryan insinuating that he's dating an illegal whose kids are all alone, but he's got the phone?
They have done this. They've done two things. They've said these people are just here to work. And they started with a lie. Do you guys notice, Dawson, I'm looking at you too. What happened to the lie that they contribute more than they take, that they put in more, they use less? Remember that? Remember 3 years ago, these people were a net plus
they
for
paid
us?
more in taxes than all of us.
Right. They paid more, they contributed more, they used less. That was always that.
That's still Newsom's line, by the way.
Oh, is it still?
Yeah.
Well, everyone else dropped that bullshit
because it turned
now
out
there's just they're here to work, and not only are they here to work, they're going to do everything you won't do, lazy white man. So leave them alone, which is their argument. And look, there's some, I have some sympathy for you've been here for a million years and you abide by the laws and you work real hard. Then you're on a list, but you're at the bottom of the list. We'll take the troublemakers off the top.
I do understand even the argument that Obama made when he was president of the dreamers, when kids are brought here by their parents, it's not their fault, but then give them a path to citizenship that vets them and figures it out and lets them stay here. That's fine too.
Ooh, maybe he should cover that song.
Obama, he does like to sing. He's got
No,
a
I'm
spoken
talking
word.
Zach.
Emmy.
Zach should take a twist on "Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer." What was that song?
Oh God,
That was that's like what?
Won't turn out the light.
I feel like
Just
the next.
hold on. It's Kenny Rogers.
No.
Yeah, he
Is
sings
it?
a duet.
It's a duet.
And it's the chick. She's got that raspy voice. I love her though.
Oh,
Stevie
Kim
Nicks?
Carnes?
No, Kim
Oh.
Carnes. Yeah, she's the one with the Betty Davis eyes. And
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it Kim
I think it's
Carnes?
Kim Carnes and Kenny Rogers.
oh, was
I
it
love
Kenny
that song.
Rogers?
I just feel like you guys have really clinched that the next Carolla team outing should be
Yes, it is.
karaoke.
100%.
Oh yeah. So it's Kenny and Kim
Kenny
Carnes.
and Kim Carnes.
Oh, good pull, man. That was a
Nice.
good pull.
Nice.
Yeah, that had a big hit. Don't fall in love with the dreamer.
I just gotta say, don't agree with Zach Bryan, but this is the First Amendment at work right here.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Couldn't say this in Saudi Arabia.
No, you could not.
All right, this is kind of interesting. And my church has experienced this firsthand. According to the Barna Group, who's out in Ventura County, they're like a Christian polling company. They say that Gen Z men are returning to church in surprising numbers in the faith resurgence. I read another article about this week, too. I think it was in Christianity Today, where they were like, is it really a rise in young men going to church, or is it a decrease in young women leaving the church? And it's actually a little bit of both. Gen Z men are attending slightly more often than millennial men even, marking a generational reversal from years gone by. According to Daniel Copeland over at the Barna Group, he's the vice president of research over there. He says, quote, "This data represents good news for church leaders and adds to the picture that spiritual renewal is shaping Gen Z and millennials today."
What is the Gen Z age? I've rejected all these titles, so I never
So
know.
I'm a grandma millennial and I'm 39. So
Mm-hmm.
Gen Z, I think, is like 38 and younger, right?
And so they're going, and women aren't going in the same
And
numbers.
and whether or not it's affiliated, Gen Z men are also kind of coming more to the right, as well as Gen Z women move more to the left.
Yeah, this bolsters my theory that women are going insane because I see them fighting and screaming, and less church probably helps with you
With the crazy?
spitting on ICE officers and like screaming and stuff like that. I think it makes sense to me. Gen Z is 13 to 28.
Oh, wow.
So it
That's
says.
young. That's way young. Wait,
Yeah.
so you're saying millennial is 28 to like 48 then?
I don't know.
I thought it was like generations were every 20 years.
No, yeah. The millennial goes down to like 30.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.
I
So
still
good.
thought I was a grandma millennial.
More
people going to church
good.
is a good thing.
It is.
And
I agree.
apparently, even some churches, this Barna study came out towards the it was the end of 2024 into early 2025. This doesn't even include the data since the murder of Charlie Kirk, in which
Oh.
churches all around the
Oh,
country said
yeah.
that they saw an insane increase in young men and people generally, but specifically young men
Big
going
spike.
to church.
Yeah,
By the way, I think that's better for the country.
I do too.
I think it's better for culture.
I agree with all that.
Like, I think, monogamy and 10 Commandments and all those things the Bible teaches are pretty good.
I agree. They had it right. It's basically diet and exercise. It's just
Spiritual
diet
diet and exercise.
Just basic stuff, old stuff.
Well,
stuff
one of the
grandma-
7 deadly sins is gluttony. So you're right. It is. It's diet and exercise without Ozempic.
I agree, but Ozempic makes it easy for people to cut corners
I think that the
and
cell
take easy
phone.
roads.
I think that the cell phone has made it easy for people to cut church out of their life, which in turn cuts out community and emotional regulation and normalcy and communication. Right? Like, there's so many things that are negative about technology, and I think removing you from the real world is one of those things, and that's why you see people, like you said, women going a little extra crazy on ICE officers or police officers.
Well, I'm only saying women are going crazy because they formerly weren't crazy. It was guys punching and screaming and
Yeah.
doing that, and now it's women punching and screaming.
Well, because previously women were stuck at home.
They couldn't punch and scream.
No,
they were
they're-
stuck at home, and now they're the tip of the spear. As a human, we're always trying to find a shortcut for everything,
Mm-hmm.
like you start off as a kid And it's like you could go all the way around, or you could just hop that fence and be there like right now. And so you hop the fence, so you just kind of look for ways to get there faster and easier. And so that's what we're wired for. So if there's Ozempic versus willpower, we'll do the Ozempic, and we do everything that way. But eventually you forget that walking the long way burns calories. You meet people, you have experiences, you see things.
Might see a little butterfly or a bird.
Little bird or butterfly. And hopping the fence, you sort of deprive yourself of that.
Yep.
And so I always preach this to people, like, I am, as you saw, on my second merch bag repair. The first merch bag repair completely blew out the bottom of it. The zipper pulled apart and the thing just blew out.
But you're a doer.
Yeah, and I went and they said, throw out the merch bag and go buy a new merch bag. And I said, will not throw out that merch bag. I shall fix that merch bag. And I fixed it.
Yeah, that's what you were doing when I got here. I was like, what are you doing?
Well, that was the first merch bag I fixed. And then we dragged that thing around the country for another 2 years. And then eventually Burbank Airport made me toss it, for a long story. But either way, the second merch bag, the handles just pulled off. And then somebody said, throw that away, get a new merch bag. And I said, I'm going to fix the handle. Now, I got the money for a new merch bag. I just don't like filling the landfill with more plastic, number one. And then number two, I can fix it. And I have a bunch of tools.
Yeah.
And it feels good to fix things.
And I think that that's the part that people don't realize is the feel good part. Like there can be some level of, dang it, I feel stupid. I don't know what tools to use. I don't know how to fix this. But then when you work through that and get to the part of fixing something or doing something hard, it's the good feeling at the other end of it.
And then,
that a lot of society doesn't experience anymore because they don't do the hard thing in the first place. They avoid the hard thing.
I traveled the country for 2 years with my fixed merch bag, and I was throwing that thing in the back of Ubers and putting it on the scale, the Southwest terminal and whatever. And every time I saw it, I'd see this piece of wood that I put along the bottom to fix it. And it reminded me that I fixed it and that it worked fine.
Yeah.
And it always worked fine. We never had to throw it out because it didn't come undone. Now, it didn't look as good as other merch bags out there. But now the handle's blown out on this one, and I'm going to have to fix this.
Did you
bad
zip
boy
tie
too.
it, or what are you going to do to it?
It's a handle, like a D-shaped handle, a regular handle, that is just pulled out from the cloth, and the hole has been yoked out. And because the thing weighs, you end up putting 50 pounds worth of books in there.
True.
It's bound to happen again because someone's going to
materials.
lift it by the handle and it's going to be 50 pounds and it's going to blow out.
It's like a really big kettlebell you're carrying around the country.
Yes. So I'm going to have to put a backer, something broad on it for in between. I'm going to have to spread that load out. I'm going to figure it out.
But you have to be careful what you use as the backer because most of the time your limit domestic travel is 50 pounds. So if you have 50 pounds of merch, you don't want to lose out on money by putting in like a plywood backer that takes up like, what, 3 pounds?
You can find a piece of plastic.
No, I'm weighing it. You're
going to wait along the way and see.
I'm weighing doing a through bolt versus a wood screw type thing. Either way, I will examine it.
I want to see before and after.
It will work.
I think
just like the other bag I worked out.
We should document this for the gram.
Yeah, I don't have I got to find what I got here in terms of materials and stuff like that. But I will fix it and it shall
Can
work.
you come to my house because I've been on the phone with 2 different companies today. My washing machine lock is like just and I can't use my washing machine. So
your
you can
washing machine lock.
Yeah, so you know like where it clicks and then like it locks and then the load runs. It won't lock.
It won't latch.
It's like the top part, the plastic part, whatever was on the inside, I could see it dangling.
Yeah.
And it won't.
Well, you got to order
connect.
that part.
Yeah.
Well, you got to go figure out what unit you have.
I got the unit and the serial number and it's under warranty and all that stuff. And they're telling me they can't come for a week. And I'm like, yo, I have 4 kids and 3 adults in this house. You think I can go a week without doing laundry?
I'll bet you that part goes bad frequently on that unit. And I bet you can buy it fairly cheaply online. and it's probably just 2 screws away from being replaced.
But I have to then take off the whole outside of the thing because it's one big piece in order to access that
You got
inside
one big
part.
sheet metal shroud around it.
It's
You
a
got to
Speed
pop
Queen,
that off.
So it's like the metal all the way around.
Speed Queen always sounded weird to me.
Right?
Like it sounded very Tina Turner from Tommy. She was the gypsy acid queen, which was the craziest character ever in a movie. Probably not homeschooling.
No,
recommended
don't even know
viewing.
what that is.
The Who is
Yeah.
is a English rock and roll band.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Okay.
I prefer Zeppelin, but go on.
They wrote a rock opera called Tommy.
Stop. I'm totally looking this up later. Go on. Wait, and Tina Turner was in it?
Tommy was about a blind, deaf and dumb boy who was really good at
At pinball.
And
It's the song. They wrote the song for the movie or the movie for the song?
the song was in the rock opera.
Okay.
And then at some point they made the rock opera, the movie, and had cameos by everyone. Elton John
No.
sung Pinball Wizard because he covered it too.
Yeah.
And Tina Turner sounds like Gypsy Acid Queen. Speed Queen is a weird name, but it made sense for 1942. And then Speed got popular, and then the Queen and all that. All right, you got any more stories?
I do.
Let's do one more.
Have you heard about this Attorney General candidate in Virginia, Mr. Jay Jones?
Yeah, this is a weird story, and it's so funny. Like if you see like the greatest part of all these stories is, well, you read the story, but I think it was Politico's version of it. I love my favorite
The way they
part
spin
of,
it.
Yes, I love when the left-wing rags have to spin it their direction. Like I love like Ilhan Omar, like on 9/11, some people did some things.
Don't know
Oh, you
who.
mean
And
like
then Republicans pounce.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Republicans bounce, right? Yeah, I love the soft sell.
Yeah.
Especially when it's murderous intent.
So USA Today headline is Democratic candidate faces bipartisan backlash over texts about shooting colleague. But NPR and Politico and the like Washington Post and others,
Some
to your point,
people said something.
we're literally like Democratic AG candidate, like minority because he's a black guy, Democratic candidate for AG in Virginia, pounced on by Republicans or alleged text messages,
All right,
like
they'll
there's
do alleged,
screenshots.
yeah, and they'll also do a version. The political version of it, which is funny, which is like, after a controversial statement or something, they never say threaten to kill. They just
Threaten to
say
kill
that
somebody
they'll
with
take
2
some
bullets to the
soft
head.
version of this. Yeah, what was that story? Because it's pretty.
So he, back in 2022, this is an old conversation that this female, he regretted. So he, the thing that's even weirder is she followed up with this like literally a couple days after Charlie Kirk died. And he kind of doubled down on it. So the original text messages said 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, his Republican opponent, Hitler, and Pol Pot. He texted, Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Coiner, the Republican delegate, responded, Jay, please stop. And he said, LOL, okay. She said, it really bothers me when you talk about hurting people or wishing death upon them. Later in the text thread, Jones also reportedly mentioned Gilbert's wife and children. Do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes, he said. So
Yeah, he wanted to pee on their grave.
he wanted
too.
to pee on their grave. He talked about
Yeah, look, if you're evil and you're breeding fascists, then you do need a bullet.
this is
'cause
what the
that's
left has
how-
been saying for years. Like this is what you do to fascists.
They run away from it all the time. But if you're doing the evil and you're doing the fascist, then some 19-year-old who's out of his mind will do the math on the evil and the fascist.
And it's like, I think what bothers me even more is the minor children, like the children involved. It's like and I said this when people go after the Obama girls or Chelsea Clinton or anybody else. It's like, just keep the kids out of it. Like your kids aren't responsible for your behavior or what you do for a living. Neither are mine. They were like born into our family. That's the way it is. They
Let me
can't.
write this down.
Your children.
Born kids. Hold on. Your kids were born into my family?
No, I said your kids or my kids. Like they're born
into
in.
my kids
No,
weren't born in. All right, hold on, slow down. Kids born
Did I miss
family.
something?
Yeah. I get it.
You know,
no,
so,
it's
like,
not their fault.
It's not their fault.
Later on, when Chelsea becomes an unhinged bitch, then
that's crazy.
by all means, pile on.
So what? Like, don't leave the kids out of this. And the fact that Democrats, including Tim Kaine, walked into the Capitol today and was like, no, I've known him for 25 years. I don't think he meant this. He shouldn't say those things, but he shouldn't step out of the race either. Are you kidding me?
Here's the thing. People do believe this stuff. And you talk about the extreme example of someone taking a gun and ending a life because they think they're killing a Nazi. But what about a much less extreme? Say, would you want a nurse who thinks this way
Hell no.
putting your catheter in?
Or teaching my children?
Or if I ran a hospital and I thought these people were Nazis, let's just say I wasn't going to pick up an assassin's rifle, but I wouldn't hire them. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't give them overtime. Mm-hmm. I would not want to be around them.
Here you go. NBC News says that Winsome Sears, who's the current lieutenant governor of Virginia, first minority and first female to hold that office, by the way, in a previously segregated state, pounces.
Yeah, she's pouncing.
She's pouncing. She's seizing on the moment.
That's right. That's her fault. Yeah. Okay. So this guy is trying to be the attorney general.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in charge of people's fates. And we can't.
Do you trust this guy to be a prosecutor? Do you trust him not to go after his political enemies with like his legal power?
Here's what I've learned, sadly, and very convincingly. This sort of like, Trump's getting this case is going to be in D.C., so he doesn't stand a chance. Like, well, I'd like to do it based on the merits of the case, not the makeup
of the judge and the justice system.
Yes. And so there's a lot of that. Now, I think the left does that much more than the right because they're more driven by ideology.
You mean when it comes to the judiciary?
Judiciary and beyond. I mean, look, if I'm a school principal and I'm very progressive and two kids get into trouble, one's wearing a MAGA hat and the other voted for Hillary Clinton, then I'll go, well, this kid's a nice kid, but he got caught up with some bad kids. And I'd see the MAGA hat kid and I go, that kid's evil.
Well, like they did with those students at the March for Life, right? That were, quote unquote, harassing the Native American guy.
Right.
Remember that case?
I know. Can the ladies from The View stop just every 10 minutes and look back at all the Kyle Rittenhouse and Jussie Smollett and everything they've been wrong? They've been wrong about everything.
Yeah.
They got
Justice Kavanaugh.
Everything they're wrong
March
about.
for Life kids.
It's all perfect.
COVID.
So I do think those people are much more likely to not turn a blind eye to whatever because their ideology drives them. And if you're evil, then they got a chance to get their pound of flesh.
And this is this week everybody's all been a Twitter about Pam Bondi going after James Comey, and Trump's going after his enemies, and he has a list, and it's unjust and it's fascist. Same language they've been using for 10 years now, and it's like, well, but then like you said, they're like, great, let's take up this prosecution case against Donald Trump in New York because we know the DAs there and the AG there are going to get Trump. It's
well,
like
we know because they announced it when they were running.
It was
number
their
one. And number two.
Jay Jones, this guy in Virginia, said the same thing too. He's like, I'm going to go after everything that Glenn Youngkin and Winsome Sears and Donald Trump did.
Right. But also the whole overestimated value of Mar-a-Lago or whatever. I don't even know what that was. I mean, I still don't really know what it was.
How is it really illegal, you mean?
Well, I've done enough real estate where I can't just go, yeah, I'd like a loan on this warehouse. And I got it at about $50 million. So I'm going to need, what's 75% of that? I mean, just give me $37 million. The bank's going to go, no, we'll do our own appraisal. We're not going to take your word for anything. Yeah. Because you're going to go high. So they'll come in and then they'll appraise it. And then they'll give a number, but their appraisal will be low because it's to protect them. And then we'll decide whether they give me the loan or not. And
this is like the same with an insurance company when you have damage on a house.
And then I'll pay the loan back, and then that'll be that. At some point where they go, Carolla said it was worth $50 million. I don't I don't know how that works. And then you go get your expert and say that this warehouse was worth $80,000 when they say Mar-a-Lago was worth $15 million or whatever, something insane.
Trump said it was worth like $30 million, and it showed that it was worth $18 million, and then he got like charged for lying about it on bank documents or something.
$30 million doesn't get you a 8,000 square foot nicest house that Tom Brady might be your neighbor in that neighborhood.
Yeah, wasn't it? Well, it used to be one of the richest. Now it's like parts of South Beach, Miami are.
I don't know. What's Trump Mar-a-Lago? It's
I can't even remember.
$250 million is what I'm saying. It's not 30. 30, it doesn't.
No, I was just saying like making up numbers. Like I remember he had a higher number, and then the prosecutors in New York were like, no,
they had
like
it. They had it like 18.
Yeah,
18 buys you. 18 doesn't.
Nothing in Palm Beach.
18 doesn't buy you half of J-Lo and Ben Affleck's house that's on the market.
The most important aspect of that case, though, is this was a deal between Trump and the bank. Trump got the loan and then paid it off.
Right.
We're done.
Right.
End of transaction.
Right.
Goodbye.
Right. So it
is crazy.
Lawfare.
It's crazy. And the lawfare is good when Dems do it, but it's bad when Republicans do it.
Right.
And I'm just like, can it just be bad when anybody does it?
2022, Forbes had Mar-a-Lago at $350 million. And that was 3 years ago, so it's probably a little bit more than that.
But that was when the case was going down. In 2022 was when the case went down, right?
That was before, I think.
It might have started before, but he wasn't a sitting president when they were prosecuting him for that. It was during the campaign.
Yeah, they wanted to just prosecute him so he wouldn't be president and do this stuff.
Yep.
And then they could keep their USA aid and ID or whatever they would just keep all their money flowing.
By the way, Marco Rubio, man, he has so many jobs.
I know.
He's like Secretary of State. He's working on Middle East deals. He's running USAID or not running it anymore. Mm-hmm. Trump keeps giving him all these jobs. It's hilarious.
Well, you want to get something done, give it to someone who's busy. All right, Elise Krause. People can go check out your column.
Yep. It's on this week. Mr. J. Jones and how Democrats will not distance themselves from him.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is going to join me next, and we'll do that right after this. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah, jingle. These guys keep your car on the road, so you don't end up stuck on the shoulder looking like a dope. Friendly, helpful service. People who actually know their stuff, not just some kid who'd rather be staring at his phone. They understand what they're doing, and I understand they understand what they're doing because I know what I'm doing. So when I go in there, I can tell they know what they're doing, and I do. I frequently do, especially when I'm prepping for a race. Thousands of parts and accessories stocked in store and online, so you don't have to panic when the check engine light appears. Need wipers swapped, brake lights out. These pros help you find what you need, or they'll hook you up with a local shop if you're not the DIY type, although I kind of hope you are. So whether you're a gearhead or you don't know a lug nut from a donut, they'll walk you right through it. No attitude, just real help. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us online at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
This October, Fear is free on Pluto TV with horror movie collections from Paranormal Activity, The Ring,
You will die in 7 days.
Scream, and From Dusk Till Dawn.
This is my kind of place.
And don't miss the man-made nightmares in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or the world-ending chaos in 28 Days Later.
There's something in the blood.
All the scares, all for free. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is back in studio. Always good to see my friend. Just Visiting This Planet is the name of the book. It is out October 21st, but you can pre-order it. And I do believe from my book writing days, if you pre-order it, it will show up on the day it drops.
Yeah, and publishers love when you pre-order because they can know their numbers better and... because why ever give anyone money in advance of receiving product? It's a tough sell. But pre-orders, I think, are just the publishing industry. They're just trying to keep up.
How many books have you written?
This is my 17th.
17.
Yeah, I don't know why it's that large, but I have a lot of the universe to share with the public.
What? So let's talk about this because I just passed a pile of my books that is going with me on the road because, as I tell everybody, when you write a book, when you're done and the sales are done and the paperback's done, everything's done, they're left with several thousand books oftentimes. and
if they want to shake the tree in the warehouse and they want to release them for cheap,
they'll give them to you when you're done. I have a warehouse, so I just say, give them to me. But what do you do?
They're still being sold.
So there's no...
So that's like the last gasp of a book. But my books are... they're going to subsequent printings. When you run out of what's in the warehouse, then they order up another printing.
So they never, because the thing that's funny,
maybe they just overprinted. I mean,
the reason I got it in my head, is because comedian Larry Miller told me he wrote a book many years ago, and he said when they were done, they had like 3,000 books, and they said, "We'll throw them away, or we'll give them to you." And he said, "I'll take them." I've done 6 books, and every time there's like 2,800 left, and they ship them.
Okay, so that's a mismatch of their expectations of the sales and the print run. So this book,
but I see. Here's my thing. I don't think they would do it times 6 books. Is what I'm saying. Every time it's like 3,000 left.
Yeah, I can't explain that.
No, but it's never happened to you.
So the closest that's happened to that is this book was actually in its first incarnation was 30 years ago when I first started writing for the public, and I had a column called Merlin, and people would write in and they say, "Dear Merlin," it was a question and answer column.
A column in what?
It was an obscure sort of the McDonald Observatory News, which later became Stardate.
Oh, wow.
And Stardate became a very popular radio show, but that was a magazine. It was a monthly magazine, and I had a column in there. And after like 12 years of that column, I said, "Oh my gosh, I need to do something with this." And the difference is, the Merlin is a pen name for a character that has lived for the history of Earth, visiting from Andromeda galaxy, the planet Omniscia. All right, there's a whole backstory to Merlin. But anyway, Merlin's here just to answer your questions. And so when you ask, "Dear Merlin, I don't quite understand gravity," as an example, then Merlin will recall a conversation in Isaac Newton's backyard. And then the answer would come out in that conversation. So it's a playful way to just bring the universe to the public. And it was time to update that for the 21st century. And so the Merlin book came out last year, and then its sequel, Just Visiting This Planet, because Merlin is just visiting Earth, helping us all understand the universe. And my brother's an artist, and he illustrated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's quite a family over here.
Yeah, it's an intermittent sort of playful illustration.
So I was reading up about you, knowing I was going to talk to you. Oh, very interesting.
Yeah.
And I knew you were a New York guy, but I didn't know you grew up in the Bronx.
Bronx in the house, yeah.
And the Bronx, New York's been pretty gentrified these days, but the Bronx, I was thinking back to a Paul Newman movie called Fort Apache, the Bronx.
Oh, wow. I forgot he was in that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
And I told my guys, pull up the trailer just because I want to know. Because you have to understand, I grew up in North Hollywood, California, like the San Fernando Valley. And my family was not mobile at all. There was no plane tickets. There was no travel. There's no anything. And also when you're from L.A., you don't feel the need to go anywhere because you're just like, people will come here. They'll come to me. Everyone comes to L.A. You don't leave L.A. And I would just sit around and see these commercials and these movies like Fort Apache, the Bronx, and I'd go, "Man, it's a war zone over there. What's going on?"
Well, I mean, in the 1970s, it was.
Well, let's look at.
Okay,
we'll look at it, and then we'll see it.
Hill.
Where's Fort Apache?
I forgot exactly where, but they called it that because it was just so the irreverence of it all. But my earliest memories were housing projects. They were middle-income housing projects in the Castle Hill section of the Bronx. By the way, J-Lo is from there. And I don't mean to brag, but I had a cameo in her This Is Me Now music video movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, she did like a year and a half ago?
Yeah, exactly.
She did the actual police station referred to in Fort Apache in the Bronx is...
41st Precinct?
Yes.
Yeah. And...
Simpson Street.
Yeah, so that's where my earliest memories are. But then my father started making more money. And so they had to kick you out of the housing projects. And we moved to Riverdale, which is a very fancy section of the Bronx.
Yeah.
So it was a middle class, there's no crime and anything. So I didn't die coming out of there. But I went to public schools, and I went to the Bronx High School of Science, as you might have
Did it
guessed.
have a number attached to it?
Not that high school. No, but all my other schools, I have PS 36 in the Bronx, PS 81.
That's
junior
another
high
one of
school,
those
141.
things. When you're from here, I went to Walter Reed.
Okay,
Junior
had a real
high,
name. Yeah, all right.
Had a name. You probably appreciate Walter Reed.
Yeah.
And, then I went to North Hollywood High, went to Colfax Elementary. They would just name them after the street they were on. But once in a while, you'd get a physician from the 40s who cured malaria.
Yeah,
But
I don't. My high school. No, our high schools are named, but the other schools are not.
Your high schools are named.
High
The other
schools
ones
are
have
named.
numbers.
Yeah, all the others have numbers. And my high school, if I can brag on it for a minute, it claims 8 Nobel laureates among its graduates. Yeah, that's as many as the country of Spain. That's a crazy fact.
Well, keep that close to the vest next time you go to Spain, because they don't like that kind of shit.
Well, it's just I don't mind speaking truth.
So
deal with it.
It was a science high school.
Yeah, the Bronx High School of Science. It's you go there, and it's not that the teachers are better, because the teachers are drawn from the same. Last I knew, drawn from the same pool of teachers that feed any of the public schools of New York. It's that you have to take a test to get in. And so everyone who does well on the test is thinking about academics and their life and what they know and their curiosity. So think of how much downtime there is in any school. You're in high school, there's like study hall, who studies, right? Between classes, during your lunch break, walking to school, walking home from school, whatever. There's a lot of time there. That what else are you doing? And the student body would be talking about the homework sets or Einstein's relativity. Or I had a friend, Frank Laurice was his name. We just learned about some equations by a French mathematician called Laplace.
Back then or now?
Yeah, no, in high school.
Right.
We had just learned about it. And my friends imagined that he would have equations called the Laurice equations. No, it's that kind of ambitious thinking that surrounds you.
Well, let's talk about that. So
and I also taught a class. Students would teach other students.
Oh,
so
really?
I taught a little seminar on black holes when I was in 11th grade. That was fun.
And then there are people that weren't going to do that. That was me. But I realized I needed some vocational training. Like I need to learn a trade. Me and all my buddies, it wasn't going to happen in the academic world for us. And I'm all right with that because they need to make a living and we need skilled guys. And by the way, those guys get paid.
Yeah.
They get paid a lot.
Right.
So I don't know what the cure is. And I think we're going a little more there with guys like Mike Rowe and people like that sort of talking about it. But just like there was a place for you to go because of your interest and I won't say your expertise because you didn't have it then, but you had a yearning for
that's a good
this.
word.
Right.
That's a good word.
And so they took you and they went, this is really what turns you on.
Well, they didn't take me.
You did.
Yeah, no, I was not. That'd be different.
But they had a school
So here's
for
the issue.
people who were turned on
Correct.
to this stuff. And for the same, I'm saying they need another school for people who are interested in turning wrenches versus astronomy.
In Brooklyn, there's a school just off the edge of the Brooklyn Bridge. It's a high school, and it's called the Westinghouse, of the famous Westinghouse Vocational High School. But the building is from like the 1940s or something. So I don't think people think that way anymore in terms of setting up the educational path. But I agree with you. The problem comes about is if somebody else says, you're not qualified for this, we're going to make you do that. then they're interrupting what could be your own ambitions. So if you said you want to turn a wrench and that's your own decision, then you should have that freedom to do so. But I don't want somebody else telling you should be turning a wrench if that's not what you want to do.
Well, life will tell you.
If you're aware of your own life.
Because everyone I knew wanted to start and play quarterback for the Rams, but they never did because life tells you, is what I'm saying.
And so you have to be aware of when life is telling you things. But it's not always other people. I don't, if I took other people's advice for what I should do with my life, oh my gosh, I don't know where I'd be.
But there was a test for you to pass.
Yeah.
So if you said, I want to be Merlin and study the cosmos, and you went in and got an F on this test, then someone would hand you a wrench, and you might not like it, but you didn't pass the test.
I'll tell you
what
this,
I'm saying.
in 7th grade and in 8th and 9th grade, I had shop. And that's back when they segregated boys and girls, right? So, the boys had wood shop and metal shop, and the girls had that's how old I am. Girls had home ec, and they learned how to wash and sew and all of this sort of thing. But those years in shop, they affect me today. Anytime I confront, an electrical board or sheet metal or my toolbox, it comes to me from those times. And so I have a deep appreciation for what it means to use your hands to build stuff and to fix stuff. And so had I been a wrench guy, those would have been important seeds for me to then go in that path. And you're doing cool things with your wrenches. I mean, you become a car guy,
I am.
That's good.
I'm a carpenter.
And you used to build, you built stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I was kind of traumatized by my shop teachers. Oh. Because they were some of the scariest, meanest dudes on the planet, and they seemed to not like the kids.
Oh, okay.
They were angry. I mean, we Mr. Gage and Mr. Martin, and they were all angry dudes. And you look back on it and you go, well, maybe that was through the eyes of a 14-year-old Adam Carolla. I just thought, maybe they were trying to help or something, but they weren't. And I have proof. Because,
well, not all teachers are good teachers. I mean,
no. That I tried them all. Some are good, some are bad, but the shop teachers were mean and angry at my school. They were all just dudes. I do not believe you needed a teaching credential to do it. You just needed to work in the trades for 10 years.
And
they weren't people who were drawn out of college to go and shape young minds and hearts. They went on to a construction site. At some point, they hurt their back, and now they're teaching me, and they're pissed.
And I'm just saying, with all my science training, I like knowing the difference between a wood screw and a sheet metal screw, and just Oh no, look, it's a field of expertise, and we're having a problem with that in this country and maybe worldwide. Yeah.
People need. I've talked to Dr. Drew about it all the time.
3-minute plumbing video and they think they're plumbing experts.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you have a certain way of looking at yourself, and I would say to Dr. Drew all the time, what if you weren't a doctor, you didn't know this, you don't have that field of expertise, you don't specialize in that, you just kind of, you know what I mean? And I have that as a journeyman carpenter, and it keeps you kind of grounded. It helps you think, and it also gives you some place in the universe. Like you go, I have a skill. Yeah. I know what this thing is, and there's a sort of security in it, and then
emotional security.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah. And I talked to a lot of people I realized don't have any field of expertise, and they seem a little unhinged or something insecure. I guess is what it would be. And
people need something that other people can come to them for advice on.
Yes, and they need everybody. Here's everyone's fantasy. You're on the plane. We all have, okay, here's the two fantasies. Are you ready? One is you're on the plane, somebody in first class has a heart attack, And the flight attendant gets on the intercom and goes, "Is there a doctor on this flight?" And people's fantasy is yes, I stand up.
That is definitely a fantasy.
I stand up and walk from the back of the plane.
You want to be the
right.
hero.
Right, except for I sit there and shut up and eat my trail mix because I'm not.
Right.
Right. Then the second fantasy is you go to a beautiful cocktail party with a bunch of good-looking, well-heeled people, and there's a great Steinway grand piano there. And at some point, the hostess of the party goes, "Could we get Neil? Could we tempt Neil just to come up and play a couple of songs?" And Neil goes, "I really wasn't prepared." And then he sits down, and some Chopin comes rolling off his fingers.
Right.
That's our fantasy. But what is that? Well, that's just you going, "I know something." And as a carpenter, when I go to someone's house and they go, "Hey, man, this cupboard door is coming off and I go, "Oh, yeah, I can do that." It feels good.
Yeah.
But then imagine going through life and never experiencing that.
Feeling needed.
It would feel a little empty and I would be a little insecure.
Yeah. So my version of that, playing the Steinway, is if there's a party and they have a patio and it gets dark and it's not cloudy, and I generally move with my lasers. I have some lasers I can point out. And I'm director of a planetarium. You got to be able to point stuff out with the laser. So I say, "Oh, by the way, the stars are out. Anyone interested?" And everyone takes their drinks and they go out to the patio, dim the house lights, and I point out the constellations, a planet in the sky or whatever.
And it works with the laser.
You need a powerful enough laser. Yeah, I have access.
How far does the laser reach?
So it's how far it looks like it reaches when you just stand there with it. But if you're on the other end of that and it's coming towards you, it'll go 60 miles.
60 miles?
Oh, yeah, easily.
Wow, so you're up there.
Yeah.
And
of course, you have to watch for planes. You don't want to.
Right.
So, but that's my version of that, and I do feel loved.
Yeah.
And I feel needed or wanted at least. They don't need that, but they
No,
welcome it.
it's everyone. If it is a universal sort of fantasy, then it's something that people need and want. Yeah. And to go through life, and I realize we're creating a lot of these people where they live in a digital world. They sit in a cubicle. They do data entry.
The problem is they look at a 3-minute video and now they believe they're an expert, and that's their access to this.
I mean, there is that, but there's also just the jobs. There's so many sort of jobs in the middle where they go, "I just enter data into a computer." And then if you're at a party, no one ever says, "Cheryl, we have a computer here.
We need some data entry.
Can we just watch you do some data entry?"
I have an authentic construction question. We're renovating now in the city, and city has a rule. I don't know when it went into play.
New York.
Yeah, New York City. You can't use 2x4s anymore for studs, wall studs. So they're metal studs. And the guys were complaining a little bit about it because they couldn't put screws anywhere they wanted into it. So, do you have an opinion about metal studs?
You come to the right place.
Yeah.
Put
some expertise on me.
I will put some expertise on it. This entire facility, not the exterior, but the interior, this studio, the other studios, the offices, it's all metal stud.
It is.
I built this place with metal stud.
Okay.
So here's how it works. I'm not sure what this code is. Now, the code
it relates to fire.
Oh, relates to fire. Okay, so metal stud is normally non-bearing, non-load bearing. So
it's just to hold up a wall.
Now, all interior walls, so there's load-bearing walls and there's non-load bearing walls.
Yeah.
So if you're holding up the ceiling joist, or the rafters or whatever, that's a load-bearing wall. So people, you go into someone's house and they go, "I'm thinking about blowing out this wall," right? And then I go, "Which way are the joists running?"
Right.
And they go, "I don't know." And I go, "Well, we got to find out, because if they're running that way and landing on that wall, then that's a load-bearing wall.
Yeah.
So if you blow that wall out, we got to pick it up with a header. We got to pick the load up.
Okay.
If it's a non-load-bearing wall, you blow it out. You don't need it. Now, metal stud, and they call it, usually used in commercial applications, are usually for non-load bearing walls, which is fine. Interior walls.
It's clear they couldn't hold up. They just bend under the weight. Yeah.
Okay. The thing about guys is guys get used to working with what they want to work with and what they have worked with and what their dads work with. And they resist change, especially carpenters. They just go, "This is the way we used to do it. This is the way I do it. This is how I do it. This is how I do it." The thing about wood studs is, they're wood. They're not perfect. Sight them. They'll be twisted. They'll be bowed. They'll be whatever. That's number one. Metal studs are straight. Always straight as an arrow. Good. Number two, they're pre-drilled. They're punched out.
Yes, they are.
To put plumbing, conduit, Romex, whatever you need to pull, electrical, and what could be Cat 5 wiring or whatever. It's all whatever.
We have Cat 6.
Cat 6.
Keep up with the times.
Sorry. Okay. If you do a wood frame wall, you got to get a D-handled whole hog, right angle, half-inch chuck drill with an auger bit, and you got to drill through all the studs, and it's cracking, and
to
it
put
sucks.
the power, the electrical conduit through it.
Yes, to pull, probably going to be called Romex where you are, but okay. So the metal stud is good. It's true. It doesn't burn. It's pre-punched out. And if you know what you're doing, you can go a lot faster. Yeah. You can frame. Guys who do commercial work will frame out entire interior of an office in a day and a half.
All right.
It's easy. They don't like it. I'll tell you what. You want to hang a picture later on in life, you don't get to just take a wood screw and put it into a stud. You have to take a tech screw, which is a sheet metal screw that has a cutting tip on it, and put that in. And also, it's not great. Like, let's say you got a 99-inch television and you want to hang it here, and you got metal stud. That's going to be difficult. So what you should do is, before you close that wall up with drywall, if you say, I'm going to put my big screen right here, put a couple blocks in there, put something in there where you know I can hang this mount, because it's not going to be kosher just trying to hang it on the metal stud.
Yeah. Thank you for that expertise.
Yeah. I like metal stud. I'm tired of arguing with people about it. People don't like use it. It's fast, it's good, and it's easy. Once you know what you're doing.
That's an endorsement.
It's easy, but it's not load bearing. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. All right. So you're doing a big remod?
A big what?
Remod.
What's a remodel? Oh, remodel.
Sorry, remodel. Sorry.
The people next to us moved out, and so we got their place, and so we're doubling it up. Yeah.
So I've seen some of that in New York. Are you blowing out like the wall and stuff?
Yeah.
Going right in?
Yeah, just going right in.
Old like 30s building? Or?
Buildings from the 1880s.
Really?
Yeah. So the walls are 18 inches thick.
Yeah.
Concrete.
Yeah.
But there are openings through it, and so you have to go through where those openings are. Yeah. Otherwise, what are you doing?
How long do you think this is going to take?
10 years. It's New York. Shit happens. There were some pieces that were on order from China, and then they got held up in the tariffs, and then who pays for that? And there's always something happening.
But everyone's pulling permits and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in New York.
Yeah,
permit city.
That's gonna be a nightmare.
There it is. But I'm still getting the universe in. I mean, that's my job. And
yeah. Well, I think the luckiest people in the world are people that have a passion, and it's such a blessing. It doesn't matter what the passion is. It could be working with animals.
Insightful. I had a passion since I was 9. And I thought, doesn't everyone have a passion? And then I got to college, and people are looking through what to major in alphabetically to see what they might want to major in. And I said, well, you didn't know earlier? And so I took it for granted that just everybody would have a passion. Then I became much more aware of and sensitive to that people are still searching for what they want to be when they grow up. Even if they're adults.
The few times I feel sorry for people, because most of my thing is like, oh, get up, dust yourself off, get your shit together, and get working. You're fine. But
that's old school. That's old school.
Yeah, but the only time I really feel bad is when I talk to someone. I go, "What do you like? What do you want to do?" And they go, "I don't know. I like watching Netflix." And I go, "No, but what really? Come on now." And they go, I like going to concerts. I go, I know, but no, I want to know what your passions are.
I got a friend of mine who said it simply. He said, whatever you do it with intensity. Mm-hmm. And I thought, wow. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Don't do it half-assed. Just go all in. And you have to find it. So if you're not curious, you're not going to find the thing that might have excited you. And so for me, as a scientist and as an educator, curiosity is everything about who and what you are and what you might become.
It's all, look, If you have a kid and the kid is curious, you go, you're fine. You'll find your way.
Exactly.
You'll find a way.
I feel the same way.
I literally, I've spent my life with people trying to talk me out of my curiosity. You know, they go around, I go, hey, is that the same guy who was in that movie, but I saw that guy, and they go, who cares? I go, I don't know, I care. And I go, why do you care? And then it always becomes you have to defend yourself.
I know,
right.
You
go,
should never have to defend your
curiosity. And then they do a weird thing where they go, why are you so obsessed with? And I go, I'm curious. I'm curious.
Yeah.
But it's why I know stuff.
By the way, so an important part of what I do for the public and in my public talks is I have an entire public talk called An Astrophysicist Goes to the Movies. Mm-hmm. And so I show movie clips and I comment on where they got the science right and usually where they got it wrong. Mm-hmm. And then there are people who come up to me and say, it's just a movie. I'm not going to go to a movie with you because you'll just ruin it. It's just a movie. Let them do the thing. And so I say to them, if you went to a movie with a friend of yours who was a car expert, and there's a period movie, let's say it takes place in 1958, and there's a 62 Chevy Bel Air parked on the street, you're going to call it out.
Yeah.
You're going to say, that car didn't exist back then. And
yes.
all your friends will say, hey, you know your cars.
Yeah.
They'll be praised for that kind of knowledge. Or if you're into costume design and you're watching some Jane Austen period piece and a carriage rides up in front of the house and a gentleman gets off with a derby instead of a top hat, and you say, nope, that was not in style at the time of that thing. You say, hey, you know your styles.
Yeah.
But if I comment about, no, you wouldn't hear that explosion in space, people say, it's just a movie, shut up. So I just want the same respect that I know people give other experts who have a geeky level of expertise about things that I think make the world interesting. When you have that level of knowledge.
You're talking to a guy who ruins movies, but only with cars and construction. And that's all I do. I will sit around and there'll be a scene in a movie where they're framing a house, and one of the workers walks by and he's got a finish hammer with a smooth head on it hanging from his bags. I'm like, that's not a framing hammer. These guys are framers.
Here's something that bothers me, and I don't know if it's justifiable. I see a car in a scene, and they close the door, and the sound of the door closing is way deeper sounding than that car should have generated.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you'll start...
I say, no, that's a tin can they're driving in.
Well, there's engine sounds, too. Like, they'll use just a big block Chevy, and it's like a 4-cylinder Pinto, you know? And
Pinto, I forgot about Pintos.
Also, Chevy, Ford... starters sound different. So the guys who really geek out go, that's not a shit. They just use a starter, but you can hear the sound of it's different.
I love expertise.
I love it too. You know what? I'm scared because Armageddon is one of my...
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, so Armageddon, that violated more laws of physics per minute than any other movie until I saw Moonfall with Halle Berry. That one... That's the award for. Let's not even.
Well, what
care
about
science.
Gravity?
Armageddon was entertaining for sure.
All right, find the scene in Armageddon where they come up on the moon rover, the mobile moon driller, and they're pulling all the junk out of it, like they're just pulling wires out. And Bruce Willis is like, no wonder it didn't work. You got the cams reversed or something. Like NASA can't figure out. You lunkheads at NASA don't know shit from Shinola. And then he pulls out an arm that's made of titanium. He goes, what's this, an ice cream scooper? What that cost? $600? And it's like, no, it probably costs $35,000, but and then he throws it, and the NASA engineers just hang their head in shame. They don't go, you can't go into our $2 billion rover and start pulling the wiring harness out, you fucking retard. What are you doing? It's an insane, the whole thing is nuts.
And so my favorite stupid scene is the asteroid bits. Or there's the asteroid field that surrounds the big one.
Right.
And so the little bits start hitting initially, and one of them decapitates the Chrysler building on 42nd Street in Manhattan, and it keeps going, enters the front door of Grand Central Terminal, and takes out the clock in the waiting room of Grand Central Terminal. most of Earth is ocean. Most of that which is not ocean is uninhabited. And this thing is hitting my hometown and my buildings. And so there's that.
But that's still possible, isn't it? We're here to focus on the impossible.
Okay, asteroids don't have GPS finding my
No,
monuments.
I think you're going down the wrong road here.
You got the ice cream scoop right there?
I am saying...
What do you got here? Let me see.
All right, sorry. We'll share the ice cream scoop. $400,000, you fucking idiot. What point is he... By the way, you can't go to a lunar landing craft and start pulling parts off it and putting it in a cardboard box and chucking it at the guys who built it. And Billy Bob Thornton just hangs his head. Oh, man, we screwed up again, didn't we? What is it? Who's in charge?
Okay, so not only violates laws of...
That's an insane scene.
It's not only violates laws of physics, I'm heartened to learn it also violates laws of cars.
Yes, that's where I come in.
Let me ask you a car question. I've always had this question.
Yes.
Because they always show it this way. Have you ever rebuilt an engine?
Yes.
Okay. Is it true that every time you rebuild an engine, there's a little bag of nuts and bolts that didn't go back in and nobody knows where they belong?
That's true with engines. That's true with IKEA furniture. That's true with everything that you put together.
That's a real thing. Okay.
No, it's very
It's almost
precise.
cliche. It's cliche now.
Yeah, you send everything out to the machine shop. Everything gets machined, and then you put it all back and you replace the bearings, which aren't really bearings. You know, like engine main bearings for the crank and rod bearings. They're not bearings. They're just little cup-shaped pieces of aluminum that sort of float on oil. There's a little bit of oil. It's weird because you go the main bearing shot or I threw a rod and the rod bearing shot. It's not bearing. It's not ball bearings. It's just a thin, everything sort of runs on a thin sheen of oil is basically. And that's why the second the oil, there's a oil pressure issue, everything blows up.
Yeah,
because it's all done
It's meltdown
immediately.
Really.
I mean, you can ask Bruce Willis. He knows how. He pulled the thing out and said $400. There's nothing you could find that is $400 that's on a
Well, I'm just
spaceship.
delighted that you appreciate and we appreciate one another's expertise in exactly those moments.
But what about the movie Gravity?
Oh, okay.
Because I never felt like Sandra Bullock needed to cut the umbilical cord.
Oh, of course. You were completely correct. Wait. By the way, they got a lot of physics right in that film. So I just want to start with that. So now my criticisms are, if you went that far to get that much right, then I feel justified in highlighting where you really messed up. And so there's George Clooney at the end of this tether.
Yes.
Okay? And she's trying to save it. Don't. You know, he does
cut me loose.
Yeah, he does the manly thing.
Yes.
Say, cut me loose, otherwise we'll both die. Okay?
Yes.
They are in space.
I know.
0 G. All she had to do was give it a little tug. Okay? Just tug it, and then he will start drifting towards her. And then they could have been romantic because they had this romantic tension anyway, where they tug together, and then their helmets hit. Right, and then they
kiss.
Kiss through the helmet.
Well, how does centrifugal force work in zero gravity?
It would have only happened that way, as portrayed, if she were swinging him in a circle.
Right.
Then, if he cut it loose, he would fly off at a tangent.
Right.
They're orbiting the Earth, but they're basically stationary in space.
Right.
And so that's my number one
Drove me nuts.
violation of the.
By the way, I can go
Newtonian laws of physics.
I can be with cars or building and outer space too, because I watched that movie and I was like, no, they're in zero gravity. She could pull him in.
No, you don't even have to. It's not even reel him in. You just give it one tug,
right,
and then he will drift towards you.
So here's my problem in life. People go, well, so what? It's a great movie. I go, I know, but the reason we're here and the pivotal scene and the reason she's alone is based on a false premise.
I would go further than that and say many occasions are where they ignored the physics, but had they gotten the physics right, they could have told a deeper, better story. That's where I take issue.
So
they cut a corner thinking, oh, the laws of nature are going to constrain me. The laws of nature are more brilliant than you will ever be. And so use them to your advantage.
Let's look at that gravity scene. So you can. I like when there's righteous indignation on your behalf.
Okay.
Give me 5.
I got you. I got you. Right here.
You know, she doesn't get him. He keeps
Doesn't
going.
get him.
Okay. Now there's that tether.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it
Got
goes
the-
taut. Okay. The
Right.
moment it goes taut.
The moment it goes taut.
Okay. Ready? Boom.
All right. So I watched that.
Oh, by
and
the
I
way,
just want she didn't
Here's
need
what
to
happened.
do that.
So I saw a preview of this in IMAX, spectacular in IMAX.
Yeah.
All right. And I tweeted like 15 posts on it. It was called Problems with Gravity. And I cited things that they got wrong. That was on a Thursday. Saturday, I hit the NBC trifecta. Did you know there's such a thing? No, neither did I. Okay.
NBC
Trifecta.
I know what an EGOT is.
Okay. Here it is. You ready? My tweets commenting on that film, which had just premiered that week, was commented. My tweets were commented on by the Today Show, the NBC Today Show, the NBC Nightly News, and Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update.
Wow. That is a trifecta.
You should be able to find, if you can find, it's Seth Meyers' Weekend Update talking about my comments on Gravity. It's a fast little bit.
Well, yeah. Were they talking shit about you?
It's you'll see. But all three of those happened in the same day on NBC.
Yeah, my feeling with all this stuff, and I do it all the time, and some of it's egregious, where, like, in Ghost Rider, Nick Cage was going to jump his motorcycle field goal to field goal, which is goalpost to goalpost. It's like field goal to field goal, and they kept saying 300
They
feet.
said field goal?
They said field goal, and they said 300 feet, but the goalposts are in the
farther
back of the end zone.
It's 10 yards back on each side.
360 feet.
Right.
They said it 5 times in the movie, and that drove me nuts. And then I kept yelling. And my whole thing is when people go, "Well, you're talking shit," I'm like, "How about you get your shit together, and I won't have to talk shit? Figure it out, you idiots."
Very good.
There's a scene in Road. God, what was that comedy? Road Trip or whatever it was. And they were like, and the one kid was like a nerd kid, and they had to jump a bridge. And that movie with Tom Green and all those guys. What was that movie called? Road Trip? Anyway, didn't matter. Point is, it was like bridge was out, and the nerdy kid was going, "That's a Ford Taurus. Curb weight, 1,300 pounds."
Nice.
I'm like, "It's 3,300 pounds, bitch."
in
It's
the movie,
yeah,
he's getting it all wrong.
He was off by 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, no car is 1,300 pounds.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
No commercially safe, dune buggy might be, but not with crumple zones and airbags and. But look it up, and you're ruining the movie for me. Oh, this is it. Oh, DJ Qualls. Oh my
you
God.
got it. Here goes.
Curb weight will be 29.56 dry.
And they even went far enough to say curb weight, right? Or
Yes,
factory weight.
factory weight.
They went there. They did it. You guys got to find the clip with Seth
Disgusting.
Meyers.
Disgusting.
It's short. It's like 30 seconds if you can do it. Saturday Night Live. Seth Meyers, Gravity. No, you're a kindred spirit in this. By the way, my attempts to do all of this were all forged 30 years ago when I wrote this column, because I was asking myself, what will interest a person most? What will intrigue them most? And what I found is that if I combine the pop culture element to it and I clad that scaffold with science, then I didn't have to teach you the pop culture. You already knew it. And now you carry away science that didn't feel like a lecture.
Right.
Because no one, after college, no one wants to be lectured to.
Right.
That's, stop lecturing me. Stop lecture is a bad word. So a lot of my efforts and things that I started doing were honed when I wrote these books.
Well, I rarely tell people to stop lecturing me, but I oftentimes say to people, and I try to not be mean-spirited about it, but like I'll say, I know, you told me that, and you like people have this thing,
give you some credit for intellect.
Well,
as a listener.
And memory. Yeah. I understand because you told me this before.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And people do a lot of sort of weirdly, like they'll go, "We gotta go because there could be traffic and I don't want to be late to the airport." And then like 10 minutes they'll go, later they'll go, there could be traffic to the airport. And I go, I understood, because you told me that, and then I heard you. So I know, and I know you're just venting because you're sort of insecure or you're feeling vulnerable or something. All right, I want to see this clip.
I don't think you don't have it.
You think they scrubbed it? Oh,
no. Well, okay. I actually have it on my computer, and this is you're editing this later, right? I can just hand you the clip.
Yeah,
I can go. So I can do it now. Take a second.
All right. Get it on your computer. I'll tell you another scene. I'll find another scene while Neil's going and getting his computer. Yeah, scrubbed. Yeah, he's got it. It's not on YouTube, is what I'm saying. All right. There is a movie. I'm looking at you, Count Andrew. There is a movie. What is the movie? What's the movie? It's like an Ice Age, and Dennis Quaid marches back into. Marches back.
2012 or something?
No, that's another horrible movie. But this one is
The Day After Tomorrow.
Day After Tomorrow, I think. Yeah, The Day After Tomorrow has a scene where they're walking across the roof of like the Mall of America, and it's all snowed through, and the guy falls through a pane of glass, and he's got the tether on, and he cuts the tether loose, and it's basically what gravity was trying to do, except for they didn't have gravity. This guy had gravity. Yeah. The day after, is it The Day After Tomorrow? Yeah. We can look around for that scene. It's somewhere in the middle of the movie, probably. If the movie's, if the movie's 100 minutes, this is 60 minutes in, or some version of that. But they're trucking. Dennis Quaid wants to go see his son, and is like, "There's a blizzard. We can't make it from Minnesota to. We can't drive from Minnesota to New York." And Dennis Quaid's like, "We'll walk." I'm like, I don't feel like Jim Carolla would have ever done that. All right, so we'll find this scene. Neil deGrasse is getting his computer in here. Tonight, by the way, I'll be at Rodney's in New York City. Speaking of New York City, Dr. Drew's going to be there. Kat Timp's going to be there, too. We're doing a live show, a live podcast there, and we're doing a stand-up show as well. And Drew has promised to do 5 minutes of stand-up, so this should be fascinating.
What, is that possible? I mean, he can stand up.
I've said to Drew 1,000 times, you've heard me do this for 25 years. Certainly you could cobble together. Listen, I know people say to me stuff like, they'll go, "Why do your balls lift up when you go into this scene?" I got this cream hysteric response. Because I sat next to Dr. Drew for so long that I understand some of the stuff he's done. I can't figure out why he has not some sense of humor after the exposure to the great one for all these years. I'm going to be at Soul Joel's, by the way, in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. All right, Neil deGrasse, I got another Gravity scene for you. But not from the movie Gravity.
All right.
But involving gravity.
I'm all in.
That involves a tether.
Yeah.
And one that needed to be cut.
Okay.
And I think...
this is from The Day After Tomorrow.
The Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And there's a scene with Dennis Quaid where his buddy falls through a sheet of glass. Let's see. I think we would have to actually see the scene I was talking about, but you have scenes of stuff freezing.
You know, my favorite scene in this is where they're keeping warm by burning books, because they're in the New York Public Library.
Yes.
And they have to decide what books to burn first.
Yes.
And they burn all the law journals.
Yes.
And all of the interesting
Yeah.
philosophical point.
Yeah.
If you had to burn books, which would you burn first?
So my take on your takes are, I will go along with, the Hollywood sign blows down, and it blows down Sunset Boulevard, and then it hits, what's her name? with the pink Corvettes, sign. Oh,
Okay, so here it goes. Here it goes.
We
You ready?
got this.
Okay,
I'll
just-
buy a coincidence.
Okay.
Even a crazy coincidence, I'll buy. They spared you, and they made a funny joke.
That was it. That was a good
They
joke.
made a
That-
funny
that was
joke
fun.
out of it. So I feel a certain sense of vindication because I brought up that scene from that movie. I don't know anything about outer space, but I was like, something's not right.
Yeah, I'm all in with you there. But I knew that about you.
Yeah,
You're a rationalist.
I strive for accuracy.
You're a blue collar nerd.
I'm a blue collar nerd because the thing about blue collar is it may be
It's a practical sense that you have.
There
of
is-
lived experience.
Yeah, I would say so. People all the time when I used to do it for a living, they'd go, "Well, I want to take this wall out. I want to open up this whole area," and I'd go, "Well, that's a load-bearing wall, so I want to get it. You get it out of there. We got to put something. We got to pick up the load." And they'd go, "I don't want anything coming down from the." And I go,
they're
"Well,
clueless.
I go, we need a piece of steel because we got to span this, and it's a big span. Well, I don't want a
Anything
piece
in the
of steel.
middle.
I don't want nothing there." And I go, "Well, I don't have a magic wand."
You need a different universe where the laws of physics might enable what you want.
Right, but here on Earth,
On Earth.
we got to pick up this load. So I'm telling you,
That's a good line. Say that next time. On this planet, this is how you got to do it.
that's what I would find myself
These
telling to a
ingredients.
lot of people who, and all their whole thing was, I don't want this. And my thing is like, I don't want it either, but it's a necessity. So we have to do it. Reality on reality's terms,
Yes.
as Dr. Drew would say.
Yeah.
Now we have.
Yeah, that's right, because
Now-
it was a...
They're in the Galleria. They fall through the glass, and this is a good use of the tether cutting scene. All right, sorry. Shame and hate. And some were here to heap praise on folks that use the tether cutting properly.
It's the reality check on the world around us.
So what is the movie that's the furthest gone in terms of your field of expertise and reality?
No, it was Armageddon.
Armageddon
Oh,
is
by
first
far,
guy.
by far.
And that doesn't even count the moon rover scene that I put in there, right?
Thanks for adding that. and then Moonfall.
Moonfall.
That one, Armageddon had the record for me until Moonfall came out. It came out during COVID.
What happened with Moonfall?
They found out the moon is hollow, and then there's some moon being that, like snake moon being that's, I don't know, is it eating the moon? I don't know. And then the moon starts getting closer to the Earth, and when the moon goes overhead, people float up to its gravity. I mean, it's just nothing is right.
Nothing is
about
right.
it. Nothing.
You know
And by the way, I don't mind having a moon being.
Right.
But there's physics that help you shape that story.
Yeah, what I never get is when they're making a movie about World War II, they go get some, expert and they sit down and they go, how would they dress? How would they talk?
Yeah.
What kind of equipment would they have? And they work it all out.
Yes.
And it's pretty straightforward.
Yes.
They could do
and
that
no one
with
walks
this.
on set with bell-bottom,
Right.
paisley
Right,
pants.
1943, right? So it's pretty doable.
Yes, it is. It doesn't take much. And so some movies are highly researched. One of the highest compliments I ever got was from Andy Weir, who wrote the movie The Martian, which has more accurate science than any Hollywood movie I've ever seen.
Really?
And he was an engineer turned novelist. He said when he was writing all the science in the movie The Martian, which was a marquee film. It had Ridley Scott as a director, and it had all these
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, and all these first row top shelf actors. He said, Neil, when I was writing this, and I did a calculation, I'd do it a second time because I imagined you were looking over my shoulder, and I didn't want you tweeting about it if I got it wrong.
Yeah.
After it came out, that counted that as a high
I wish
compliment.
they'd done that on Road Trip or Ghost Rider. Just pictured Adam making fun of them. All right, so before we go, Mars, water, fossilized water. I don't know what to call it, but
Oh, the recent discovery?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for checking in on that. So it's not evidence, it's not fossilized life. It's fossilized life excrement, if you want to be blunt about it. So the combination of chemistry there would not have happened naturally but just by rocks rolling around, and sitting here for a while and then there. It looks like life made that residue. And that's very hopeful. What it does is it say, let's go back and look for more of this. It helps shape your next round of questions. Because if you go in there and you don't know anything, you say, let's just look at everything.
Right.
Check here, go where there used to be water, poke here, poke there. Once you can sharpen your questions, then you can design experiments that are better tuned to answer those questions.
How did they discern that was sort of the residue
it was just
of life?
they look like leopard spots on a rock. If you need a geologist in there too, not only astrobiologist, to know, for them to say that's unusual.
Is it just from looking at it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, there are other ways that they can probe rocks.
Right.
They have an alpha proton X-ray spectrometer. Okay, it would sound like something Batman would have had on his.
Bruce Willis not happy with that junk. Get it out of here. What was that? Like, what did that cost? Like $400 or something?
It's a Batman device. Oh no, Batman, not the alpha proton X-ray spectrometer. So they have ways of seeing inside of rocks to some depth. But this, as I understood it, was just completely visible to you. So you have to know what rocks and sedimentary layers normally look like, and then you're spotting the anomaly.
And what about sending a manned mission to the moon, which is recent as well?
We're reacting to China's decision to do that.
This is just a dick swinging competition. I mean,
that's another way to say it. But let me just tell you that if we really cared that much about the moon, we would have stayed in 1972, or we would have gone back in 1980, or 1990, or 2000, or 2010. China says they're going to put taikonauts on the moon. That's their word for an astronaut. And then we say, oh, by the way, wouldn't it be good if NASA went back to the moon?
Right. So it's just a reaction.
We make it feel like it's the natural thing when, in fact, we are responding geopolitically to a perceived or real threat.
Yeah, I get both sides. My first impulse was like, well, that's from my childhood. I don't know what we're going to do, but
right.
Better than I'll take that over the bullet train for Merced that's never going to get finished in terms of expenditures. All right, let me plug the book. Just Visiting This Planet is the name of the book. It is available October 21st, but you can pre-order.
Yeah, it's pre-order. People, the publisher loves a pre-order. They like to know if you're really interested, and then it shows up on your doorstep.
So I want to thank Neil deGrasse Tyson and Alicia Krause. Tonight, I'll be in Rodney's, New York City. Dr. Drew doing stand-up for the first time. Kat Tim from Gutfeld's going to be there, and we'll do live